Hey everyone, my name is Kayla Rusin and I am a director with Usborne Books and More. I am excited to talk to you today about something that brings growth to our businesses. That is recruiting. What does it take to become a master at recruiting? Lots of practice. I started with UBAM in August of 2019. When I started, I was afraid of recruiting. It scared me to death. I sent my leader screenshots of almost every single message I sent and reply I got in regards to recruiting. I did not have confidence. How did I gain confidence and start to become good at recruiting? Well, as I mentioned, I sent my leader every single screenshot anytime a recruiting conversation was brought up. I recommend you do the same. You become good at replying and figuring out how to bring up recruiting by learning what to use as a response and starting that organic conversation. The saying goes, practice makes perfect. If you don't practice, you aren't going to become good at it. How do you practice? You ask every host to join multiple times, before the party, during the party, and after the party. I know you are thinking, but Kayla, why would I ask them 3 times? I don't want to bother them. Well, how many times were you asked before you decided to join? I can almost guarantee that nearly every person watching this said no at least once before saying yes. Now you ask, okay, if I need to ask 3 times, how do I do that without being annoying or pushy? I would like to talk to you about 3 points that really help when it comes to recruiting. Number 1, use organic conversation. Less is more. Do not word vomit when asking a hostess to join your team. Do not send multiple paragraphs, videos, and graphics. When you do, they are going to run the other direction. You will scare them away. A hostess can identify when it isn't you speaking truth to them, especially when it comes to asking them about the business. They want to feel connected to you. They don't want to think some robot is operating behind the computer. A simple way to do this is to say to your hostess, "You are doing an amazing job with your party, and I am loving the interaction. Why aren't you a book lady yet?" With a question mark at the end. Always put the question mark. They feel obligated to respond, and it allows their objection to be immediately brought to the surface so you can stomp it to the ground. I can tell you nearly every response I get from hostesses is that they don't have time or they are too busy. So, what do you say when this is the case? Here's an amazing response to use to stomp that objection to the ground. I totally understand that. The good thing with UBAM is there are no selling quotas or minimums. Our starter kit is only $30 and it comes with a $15 book credit. This would give you a lifetime discount on these amazing books, the commission from your party, and double free books. What are your thoughts on that? See how I ended with an open-ended question? This prompts them to tell you their thoughts rather than just saying yes or no. Number 2. Use small talk and create a relationship with your hostess. John C. Maxwell says that good relationships create energy and give people's interaction a positive tone. When you invest time and effort to get to know people and build good relationships, it pays off with greater energy once the relationships are built. And in that kind of positive, energetic environment, people are willing to give their best because they know the leader wants the best for them. Our job as a consultant is to create that positive environment for our hostesses and invest time in them. If we do those things from the start, they are going to want what we have. People thrive on relationships. We are relational beings. That is how God created us. You are probably thinking, okay, Kayla, I understand I need to create a relationship with my hostesses, but how do I do that with someone I don't know? Ask them questions. They mentioned they had a long day at work. You can say, "I'm so sorry to hear that. What do you do for work?" And then you can carry on the conversation. This does not need to be anything extravagant. Small talk is super important and lets your hostess know that you are here for more than just getting the party done. Number 3, ask them 3 times to join, at least 3 times. I know I mentioned this above, but if you ask them once and that is it, you will probably get through the year and be able to count on 2 hands the number of recruits you got through that year. With that being said, I decided to do a poll with the executive team of UBAM. I asked all of them, did you say yes the first time you were asked about joining? The results were astounding. There were only a small handful that said yes the first time they were asked. The rest of them either said no the first time or they were never even asked. Here are the numbers so you can see how much we are missing the mark when it comes to recruiting. Only 11 ladies out of 106 said yes the first time. The rest of them either said no or they weren't asked. This shows us something very important. Nearly all of the execs in all of UBAM either said no the first time or they weren't even asked. What does this information tell us? This data shows us, all of us, that we must ask each hostess to join our team, and we must ask them more than once. Think of all the successful people we would miss out on if we didn't ask them or we took the first no as a no. I hope these tips inspire you to up your recruiting game and understand a little bit of how to build your team. I want to leave you with a thought about my personal business. When I first promoted to team leader, my recruiting game was definitely subpar. In fact, my central group, including myself, went through a spell about a year ago where there was not a single recruit for 6 weeks. Not one. I decided I was going to become great at recruiting. I changed my mindset. I spoke this over myself. I upped my recruiting goal and pushed. I went from team leader to director in just over a year. So all that to say, just because you aren't experiencing growth today doesn't mean you won't be tomorrow. Transformation can happen overnight. If I can do this, so can you.